From Indiana's #1 news source, this is Fox 59 News at 10.
So I stopped, and then next thing I know, I see somebody just walking towards me, just start shooting.
You feel their heartbreak and their memories, and it hurts you even more because you're not only feeling your pain, but you're empathizing with their pain.
But we want to know that why this is happening. This has to stop. It has to stop now. Enough is enough.
Tonight, the community comes together in prayer, holding a vigil for the 8 victims of the FedEx mass shooting here in Indianapolis Thursday night. Good evening, I'm Dan Spieler. Police were back at the FedEx facility today as the investigation into the shooting continues. We got another update just within the last couple of hours. Police now tell us the suspect, Brandon Hull, had 2 rifles and was seen using them during the shooting. He purchased those rifles legally in July and September of last year. Tonight, we're going to focus more closely on the victims of this shooting. 8 people whose families are now in mourning. The victims ranging in age from 19 to 74 years old. Matthew Alexander, Samaria Blackwell, Amarjit Kaur Johal, Jaswinder Kaur, Jaswinder Singh, Amarjit Kaur Seko, Carly Smith, and John Weissert. As we learn more about these victims, we want to bring their stories to you tonight. Samaria Blackwell is one of the youngest victims. She was just 19 years old. Her family says she dreamed of becoming a police officer. She played basketball and soccer. Indy Parks also says she was a joy to work with as a lifeguard and served with grace and dedication. Her friends say she was someone who easily lifted their spirits.
I just told everybody else, you couldn't be with her and not be happy. Like, it was just, her smile, everything was just infectious. She was just, I mean, I still don't believe it. I have no words.
In a statement, they tell us she had a tough game face, but that quickly turned to a smile outside of competition. Samaria loved people, especially those of advanced age, and always found time to invest in the older generation, whether by listening or serving. Carly Smith was also just 19. She grew up in Indianapolis, attending IPS, a 2020 graduate of Crispus Attucks High School, where she played softball. Her mother spoke with us after the prayer vigil tonight.
You just tell yourself the most positive things that you can to make yourself not cry. She was the caregiver. She wanted to take care of everybody. She wanted to be there for everybody.
Indianapolis Public Schools also remembering Smith's humor and her way to make classmates laugh and smile. In a statement, they said Carly was a bright light wherever she went. She'll be dearly missed by all throughout IPS who knew and loved her. Matthew Alexander was a graduate of Avon Schools. The school sent a statement saying, in part, our minds and hearts are united with the Alexander family and the loved ones of all the victims as they grieve what they've lost and as they face futures that have been forever changed. To honor Matthew, a moment of silence was held before today's baseball game. In his memory, his dad throughout the first pitch. Amarjit Kaur Johal is being remembered as a loving grandmother. Her family says many of their family members work at the FedEx facility and are traumatized by Thursday's shooting. They say enough is enough. Our community has been through enough trauma. 4 of the victims are from the Sikh religious community here in Indianapolis. The family of Amarjit Kaur Seko and Jaswinder Kaur were at tonight's vigil. She says her family has a lot of questions about how the 19-year-old suspect ended up with a gun, and they're asking the government to take up the issue of gun reform.
Our loved ones are gone. They're not coming back. But we want to make sure there's so many out there. We go to work every day. Make sure no one else's loved one's gone like this.
Authorities are still trying to determine if these shootings were in any way targeted. We spoke with John Weissert's wife, Mary, while she was waiting to get an update yesterday. She tells us John was her college sweetheart. They were married almost 50 years. He was a retired engineer, got the job at FedEx to pay off some extra debt. And tonight, for the first time, we are hearing from a woman injured in that shooting Thursday night. She spoke with Fox 59's Courtney Spinelli from the ICU today and has an important message for the entire community.
Yeah, I'm not no victim. I'm a survivor. And that's what I'm going with. I'm a survivor.
A survivor she is. Angela Hewley was shot Thursday in the mass shooting at FedEx.
So I stopped, and then next thing I know, I see somebody just walking towards me, just start shooting.
She says she didn't even make it out of her car before her life changed forever.
and put it in drive and just zoomed past him. By this time, I knew I was hit.
She flagged a man to call 911 while she was on hold waiting for dispatch. This just moments after a bullet struck her in the side.
My son, who works there, who's also an employee, pulls up, talking me through it. Mama, calm down. It'll be okay. You got this.
The mother of 5 doesn't understand why this had to happen and says the company has a lot of questions to answer.
No one should have lost their life. No one should have got injured.
As she recovers from the bullet that left her with multiple injuries and a chest tube, she's grateful to be alive, but heartbroken for the families who won't get the chance to see their loved ones again.
But he did not have to be so selfish as to take other people's lives, as to put other people through pain.
Her aunt Angelia Holland says she got the dreaded call Thursday night. She lost her own brother to gun violence.
I was scared. I was terrified. I wasn't thinking that it was my niece.
She says knowing the pain Hewley is in makes her emotional. All they can do now is help her get through this.
There's no way my niece should have been shot. There's no way that there should be 8 dead people at FedEx because they come into work.
With a long road to recovery ahead, Hewley says her life will never be the same, but she's determined to get back to her 5 boys who need their mom.
She's in good spirits. She has a really good heart.
Courtney Spinelli reporting there. Hewley says during the entire incident Thursday, she was most worried about her 19-year-old son and whether he was okay. We can report, thankfully, he was not injured in the shooting, but his aunt says he's having a really difficult time processing what he saw. They say they're praying for all of the victims tonight, the survivors, and for the family of the shooter, who's also facing the loss of a child.
I once was lost, but now I'm found.
As we mentioned tonight, dozens of people gathered to grieve together and show support for all of those affected by the FedEx shooting. A candlelight vigil was held at Cranert Park. Families, friends, loved ones, and city leaders all joining together. City officials say this show of unity will help us heal as we move forward.
And we can still honor their memory. How? By choosing to be a light in the darkness. By choosing love over fear. By doing that one thing we must all do when we live in a community. Caring for one another.
Indianapolis is strong. We are a great community, and we take care of our own. And that's what we'll continue to do as we wrap our arms around these families.
During the vigil, there was a reading of the names of all 8 victims and lighting of 8 candles for them as well. Earlier today, the group Purpose for My Pain joined other organizations and several faith leaders with different religious backgrounds and mental health experts for a vigil at Olivet Missionary Baptist Church on the Northwest Side. They just wanted to show the families affected by gun violence that they are not alone.
To see this show of support, it just warmed my heart. It's a testament of how tired people are of the increasing violence in our community, and so we really came together to say we're tired.
There were resources available to the crowd to connect them with mental health services there after the vigil. Well, today, the family of the shooter released a statement to the victims' families saying, quote, "We are devastated at the loss of life caused as a result of Brandon's actions. Through the love of his family, they say we tried to get him the help he needed. Our sincerest and most heartfelt apologies go out to the victims of this senseless tragedy." They say, quote, "We are so sorry for the pain and hurt being felt by their families and by the entire Indianapolis community."
It's a national embarrassment and must come to an end.
President Joe Biden says the nation, quote, "can and must do more to act and to save lives after the FedEx shooting here in Indy." At least 30 people have been killed in mass shootings in the last month alone in the United States, including the one in Atlanta that killed 8 and another in Boulder, Colorado that killed 10 people. According to the Gun Violence Archive, there have been 147 mass shootings since the start of 2021. The White House now calling on Congress to pass legislation that reinstates a ban on assault weapons and strengthens background checks. A recent Gallup poll shows broad public support for stronger gun laws. A bill already passed the House, but there's little interest, it seems, in that legislation in the Senate, where lawmakers from more rural states say their constituents don't want this legislation even after these recent shootings.
It should not be political, despite the efforts of the NRA over time. This is an issue that Democrats, Republicans, independents across the country believe universal background checks should happen.
The White House already announced some moves earlier this month, saying the administration would regulate stabilizing braces that make pistols more like rifles and crack down on so-called ghost guns. The U.S. has more guns per capita than anywhere else in the world. There are 121 firearms for every 100 Americans. We'll talk more about that issue coming up on tomorrow's edition of In Focus tomorrow morning. Of course, this story still developing. So many updates coming in constantly as we've been reporting here tonight. You can find all the latest information on the shooting and full statements from family members of the victims on our website at fox59.com. Also tonight, a situation that could have been much, much worse. Shots fired at the Beech Grove Walmart this afternoon. It started as a shoplifting investigation and thankfully ended with no one getting hurt. Police tell us an off-duty IMPD officer was working security and was handcuffing a suspected shoplifter when that person pulled out a gun. Another shopper saw the situation, pulled out his own gun, and fired 3 shots. Again, no one was hurt. That suspect is in custody tonight. We do want to get an update now on your weekend weather. A chilly night here in central Indiana. Taking a live look here over downtown Indianapolis. Weather Authority meteorologist Krista McEnany is here with a look at how our Sunday is shaping up. Hey, Krista.
Hey, Dan. Well, our Saturday didn't shape up to be too bad. We did manage to get some sunshine and temperatures just a little cooler than average, but we are tracking some very chilly temperatures tonight and even a few showers as we head into your Sunday. But at this time, skies are mostly clear. This is the view from our camera here on the northwest side of Indianapolis here at our studio. And while you can see we had those clouds around this morning, many of you still got outside. Not a terrible day to be out on the course. A little bit of a breeze going, but those winds have even calmed down and those skies continue to clear as we headed through the evening hours. Live Guardian radar had a few showers on it early in the day. Those have cleared out. We are going to be dry for the rest of tonight. And temperatures at this time, we've dropped to 47 degrees. We have those winds chilly out of the north-northwest, right around 6 miles an hour. We're seeing temperatures at 47 in Marion, 45 in Peru and in Zionsville, and already dropped to 42 at this time in Bloomington. Temperatures will continue to steadily fall down into the 30s as we head into very early Sunday morning in some locations here across central Indiana, mainly in our north and eastern counties, including Peru, Marion, and Muncie, are under a frost advisory from 2 to 9 a.m. tomorrow. We'll time out these showers, let you know how far that thermometer drops, and let you know when we'll see even colder air and those snow chances. That's in my full forecast.
Okay, Krista, thanks. We'll see you soon. Developing right now, one person is in the hospital after a shooting on Indy's near northeast side tonight. Officers were called to Roosevelt Avenue near Mass Ave just before 10:30 tonight. That's where they found the victim injured. They were taken to the hospital in critical condition. Police have not given us an update about the suspect just yet. We'll keep you posted. Turning to the coronavirus crisis right now, look at this map. More than 3 million people worldwide have now died from the coronavirus, according to Johns Hopkins University. Nearly 20% of them right here in the United States. Health officials here in the U.S. say they have a responsibility to help distribute the vaccine around the world. The Biden administration recently announced a partnership with Japan, India, and Australia to expand global vaccine supply.
A pandemic that is a global pandemic requires a global response.
Yesterday, the Biden administration also announced a new $1.7 billion investment in the nation's fight against the variants of the virus that are out there now. Since March 16th of last year, 12,808 Hoosiers have died as a result of the virus. The State Department of Health reporting 5 more deaths today. Another 1,200 Hoosiers testing positive for the virus over the last 24 hours. Our positivity rate now at 5.1%. Marion County is among the many that are in yellow on the state's advisory level map, with 3 counties now in orange. Well, if you're not one of the 1.5 million Hoosiers who have been fully vaccinated or vaccinated at all. A reminder here, you can drive into Indianapolis Motor Speedway to get your shot this weekend. The Speedway is offering the Moderna vaccine since the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is still placed on hold. You don't need to make an appointment. You can just head to the gate by the museum between 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. Those who go to the Speedway will need to call 211 to schedule their second dose. Well, Indiana State Police are investigating tonight after a suspect stole one of their cars and then led police on a chase. State Police tell us it started around 2:45 this afternoon after a trooper responded to an abandoned car on I-69. While the trooper was examining that vehicle, the suspect got out and started fighting. The suspect got away, jumped into the trooper's vehicle, then took off. That chase went through Hamilton and Madison counties before the suspect crashed into a semi-truck in Anderson. The suspect was caught after trying to steal another car at McDonald's, but the driver fought them off. The suspect was then caught at a nearby Applebee's. No injuries were reported. Protests tonight after police shootings here in the Midwest. Tonight, the calls for justice in Chicago and in Minnesota, and the verdict they're anxiously awaiting next week. Plus, overseas, a royal remembrance. Prince Philip laid to rest in a quiet ceremony with the royal family. What they're saying about his life and legacy next.
And we are in for a very chilly night tonight. Even several locations here across central Indiana are under a frost advisory that could impact any sensitive plants you have outside. I'll let you know just how far that thermometer falls and when we could see some showers that could impact your Sunday plans.
We have multiple people with injuries. This is a sight that no one should ever have to see.
It was very nerve-wracking.
What happened? Why did this happen? You know, what is going on?
It's a lot, the process.
There's no need for this. I want everybody to love each other.